All right, it is 12:30. I did say we were going to get started. Good to see you, Ogata. Good to see you, Kohagen. We're off of break. Golden Week is over, and originally I thought that we were going to be getting a chapter of Jujutsu, but that is still on break, so that we just get One Piece and My Hero today, which works out for me just fine, because I still got some things I need to work on once all is said and done. But let's go ahead and get the formalities out of the way, shall we? Yo, peoples, Kyushu92 here, and welcome back to yet another live One Piece chapter reaction and review. Before we went on break, we got chapter 1081, which was the 10th ship captain of the Blackbeard Pirates, Kuzan, which saw Kuzan go up against Garp, and Garp literally just told the boy to sit down. We got history of how Kuzan met with the Blackbeard Pirates and how he joined with them. And we also saw the end of the fight between Law and Blackbeard, which saw Law's Polar Tang, his signature ship, his submarine ship, being completely destroyed, his crew sinking in the water, and Law utterly defeated. Well, not utterly defeated, but just defeated. At least he lasted a whole lot better than Kid. So now, Halster, good to see you as well. We get to see what happens in today's chapter, chapter 1082. Let's go and take it. Reader requests, Chopper confusing Zeus for cotton candy and nearly eating him by Kanon Kameda. It's good to get, page requests, and it's nice to see them again. Oh, wow! Whoa! Hold up! The passing of Wow, I'm sorry, that just took me by surprise because I've seen this dude so much in the Navy, but the passing of Vice Admiral T-Bone, a figure beloved to many in the Navy and the public, sent shockwaves around the world, but the Navy did not reveal his cause of death. Wow. Okay, so Navy HQ Vice Admiral T-Bone dies. That is on the news feed. Remember, Vice Admiral T-Bone is basically the dude that looks like he could be a zombie or a skeleton. He has a very gaunt appearance, very skeletal appearance. He has long hair, but he has like a sort of skeletal, almost emancipated look to his face. Apparently, he just been killed. The Navy is losing named members. Let that sink in. It's not just some run-of-the-mill Navy soldier that's just died or a whole bunch. A named Vice Admiral that we all know and seen before. He's dead. T-Bone is dead. We just got a named person from the Navy who just died. I'm sorry, I'm sticking with that. That's just stuck with me. But we're at the Navy HQ because we got Sengoku and Suru at Navy HQ. Have we found the killer?
No leads. All we know is that their family must be living a happy, comfortable life now.
We're living in the end of days, Otsuru. Stabbed in the back by the citizens we're sworn to defend. It's sickening. What do you mean, stabbed in the back? Cross-guild bounties. It's not just pirates who are taking on the bounties, I'm guessing. Citizens, desperate citizens, are seeing this as an opportunity to cash in. That makes this worse. I'm sorry, let's focus. Let's focus on this. We're living in the end of days, Otsuru. Stabbed in the back by the citizens we're sworn to defend. It's sickening.
Once there are bounties out on Navy officers, the pirates aren't the only ones who want to collect the money.
I just said this! I didn't even see that panel! I just said this! Citizens are now looking at a quick cash grab in trying to take out Navy officials. It's not just pirates. It's not just pirates who are seeking these bounties out. Now it's citizens. Like I said, desperate citizens who see this as a way that they could, make some money by killing members of the Navy. Regular citizens. This is basically Doflamingo's birdcage game, but it's actually successful. when you think about it, it's basically Doflamingo's game of kill or be killed, and whoever kills these big top members, these top people, these top starred people who've, bothered me during the Dressrosa arc. Don't worry, we'll get to that arc once I start reading. But it's just like Doflamingo's game, except it's run by all the pirates of the world versus the Navy as well. And now some of the citizens, a lot more willing than the citizens in Dressrosa. They've taken the chance, and now we've lost a vice admiral.
Once there are bounties out on Navy officers, the pirates aren't the only ones who want to collect the money. It happened in the Pepe Kingdom, where over 1,000 people die of hunger every year. Poverty and money will change a person.
Oh, so he died over in a poverty-stricken country. Poverty-stricken kingdom. And when desperation gets to a degree, morality, the line of morality gets really blurred when you are incredibly desperate.
Not that I excuse whoever killed him. If it was his goal, then we're sorely overlooked the genius jester.
Oh, wait, let's read further before I say, I hope they don't think that Buggy was a mastermind.
If this was his goal, then we've sorely overlooked the genius jester.
Her wording here makes it seem like they really don't take Buggy all that seriously. But if they're thinking, if this was his goal all along, then maybe we should take Buggy a little bit more seriously. We all know how Buggy is, but... And then Son Goku, still with his goat. His goat has got to be one of the most long-lived characters in this entire game aside from Giants, because that goat has never changed. How can we risk our lives to help the people if we're living in fear of being killed by them? We need to strike down Crossguild. The sooner the better. They'll sap the morale of the troops and weaken the Navy. And then Sengoku waves over to Hina. Ah, Hina, have you seen Garp? There's a new flavor of crackers out.
A few days ago, he said I'm heading off to save Kobe. I think he went with Sword. And Kujaku, too, most likely.
Ha! Both Sengoku... See, they're just... Like I said, Garp follows his own path. He don't listen to nobody, nor does he inform people like he's going somewhere. He's literally like, yeah, I'm going to Full of Lead. Right now. So this is a shock to both Sudo and Sengoku. Sengoku because Garp went off to the home of Yonko, and more likely Sudo because her granddaughter went there with him. Huh? To Full of Lead? Empty Bluffs, New World, place where the Cross Guild currently is.
So, you've crossed the sea to meet us?
Yes, sir.
Well done! The overlords of the underworld are highly pleased with you. A new kingpin of evil appears.
I hear the money got sent to my family, which I'm very glad for. Thank you, sir.
Of course! You eliminated a vice admiral from Navy headquarters. You're a champion of evil. From what I hear, the incident sent the Navy into a panic. If they ever find you, they'll surely strike your head from your shoulders.
Even if I never get to see my family again, it's still better than letting them starve.
And it shows this really downtrodden, patched up man. This man killed a vice admiral? Just how strong was T-Bone for him to be done in by this one dude? Wow. What happened? I got like a big error that happened. It just happened all of a sudden. Wow. So you guys kind of missed out on my reaction of all the stuff that happened. All right, that's fine. We'll just go back. Sorry I didn't see what you guys were saying. Whenever I have the chapters up, I just have that tab open, and strangely, I didn't... strangely, I didn't get a notification because someone sent me saying like it's buffering, but I didn't get that message because I don't want to see, at least you're okay. Oh, I'm fine. It's just that all of a sudden it just ran into like an error message. It's fine. We'll go right back through it again because it's only when it comes back to when the stream starts again officially. On the stream, it feels like there was a long buffering, but that won't appear on the stream. So we need to continue to where I was before because I'll give you the same amount of energy I had before. So going back to what Buggy said, he says like,
from what I hear, the incident set the Navy into a panic. If they ever find you, they'll surely strike your head from your shoulders.
And of course, the man is crying out because he's kind of scared.
Even if I never get to see my family again, it's still better than letting them starve.
And it cuts to a flashback where he sees his family, and they're all just incredibly hungry, and they're laying on the floor. They're all disheveled and starving.
Have no fear. You're welcome into the fold. Now you're a pirate with me.
Pirate?
Don't you get it, man? Buggy the Genius Jester is one of the 4 emperors. Your average pirate never gets within a mile of an audience with him.
Behold, that's Buggy himself, in the flesh. Yar, Buggy in the flesh.
We really don't hear the phrase yar all that often, do we? We really don't. Apologies for the buffering issue. Normally, when that happens, I get a notification that pops up. But apparently that error happens when I'm reading, and I'll never know. So it's kind of weird. My apologies for ruining your immersion. That's on me. I got to be more mindful of that, so I apologize for that. But continuing,
behold, that's Buggy himself, in the flesh. Yar, Buggy in the flesh. Buggy Flash, Buggy Flash, Buggy Flash.
And they keep saying Buggy Flash over and over again. I'm pretty sure the zombies from Dead Island 2 would love to try out some of that Buggy Flash.
Begging your pardon, Chairman Baggy Flash. Do I look flabby to you?
It's finally finished. The Cross Guild flagship is ready. They got a ship now. A flagship for the entire Cross Guild. And then it cuts back in another flashback where Buggy says,
Let me build the ship for us. I've got good shipwrights working for me.
As he's talking to both Mihawk and Crocodile.
Gotta have Chairman Buggy as the figurehead. It looks great.
And he looks at it, and it's just a big old massive ship that is just Buggy themed, with Buggy's face plastered as the big figurehead at the front. It's the Cross Guild ship, but it's patterned after Buggy. And Buggy is just screaming his eyes. He literally screams his eyes out as he sees it because he knows exactly how Crocodile and Mihawk are going to feel about him being propped up as the big head honcho and everything. And he just feels utter terror because he can sense both Crocodile and Mihawk right behind him looking at him. And Mihawk speaks, and his manner of speaking is so terrifying to Buggy that Mihawk goes, "And you want us to ride on this clown ship? Meeting room now." And then it cuts to Buggy, who's just crying. He's crying because he knows what's about to happen. And it cuts to the rest of Buggy's crew as they're just screaming,
"It's the best ship ever! You did an amazing job!"
Then it cuts to the meeting room as Buggy's regular crew members are just watching on, and they can just see, all they can hear is screaming from the meeting room. Because it cuts to the meeting room as Mihawk is talking to Crocodile, and Crocodile is going,
"Public opinion on the Cross Guild has been very positive. The Navy should be waking up to the threat we pose by now. The utopia we seek to build is a military nation strong enough to resist any power, and for that,
we need overwhelming strength," says Mihawk. And in the background, Buggy's disembodied, decapitated head is just left hanging on a hook in the back of the room. As he's, been massively beaten up. He's got like a massive swollen knot over his eye. He's all jacked up and bleeding all over because Mihawk and Crocodile beat him down.
Please just kill me! This is all wrong. This wasn't the life I wanted for myself.
And then Crocodile continues.
In order to buy that, we'll need massive...
Wealth and power, right? Well, if you'll permit me to speak freely. Kill me and be done with it if you like. But I gotta get this off my chest. You really call yourselves pirates chasing after these small-time goals?
What's this? A last-ditch attempt at arguing back.
Stop wasting your time with these lateral moves, boys! You've heard what they're saying, haven't you? Red Hair is making his move! Both he and I rode on the Pirate King's ship, but neither of us were able to get to Laugh Tale with the others. Think back. When you were young, what did you want to be? I could see that Shanks had so much promise ahead of him that I gave up on my dreams.
Then it cuts back to the day of Gold Roger's death 24 years ago.
Don't you remember what you said, Shanks? That you'd take your own ship to Laugh Tale one day?
Yeah, and I've changed my mind. For now, I don't feel like trying to get there.
What?
But I'll still be a pirate.
You're not who I thought you were, Shanks. You're not who I thought you were, Shanks. Aren't you gonna be the king of the next generation?
Come with me, Buggy.
I'm not gonna work under you, idiot! You coward! I thought Captain Rogers' wish was for you to follow in his footsteps. Don't tell me you've forgotten that you lost my treasure map. Well, I haven't forgiven you, so until the next time we meet, we're enemies!
And then Buggy runs off from Shanks, and then that pretty much has him start his own crew.
But Shanks is actually on the move.
And this cut back to present day with Buggy going,
But Shanks is actually on the move. Why, after all these years? Well, whether by fate or accident, I'm on the same level as him now.
That's debatable. That is highly debatable. That is so undeniably debatable that you just saying that out in the open just casts doubts. Purely.
If he's gonna do it, then I want to be the king of the pirates!
And Buggy says this just...
Well, by fate or by accident, I'm on the same level as him now. So, if he's gonna do it, then I want to be the king of the pirates!
And mind you, he's saying this to two individuals who have already said this to them. He's saying this to two individuals who have already heard those words spoken to them. One of these two individuals, Mihawk and Crocodile, one of these individuals was beaten by that individual who made that proclamation. So, you'll have to forgive me if they don't take it seriously. Buggy is born to take L's. I hope in the future Mihawk and Crocodile get their own personal ship like Queen and Jack. Buggy was literally a small-time arms dealer for 2 years. That's all Buggy has done. He became recognized as a Yonko simply because of Crocodile and Mihawk joining up with him after the 7 warlords were abolished. And him having like numerous powerful crew members. But he himself is not... He, as a pirate, is recognized as Yonko level by the world in the Navy, but he as an individual is not really recognized as Yonko because he's out of every single person that exists on his crew, he's the weakest. Sure, he's got like a nice and effective devil fruit, but in terms of Yonko level strength, dude, remember back in Marineford when the ship that Luffy and company coming out of Impel Down got frozen, all the powerful people used all of their strength to stomp down on the ice in order to crack it, and the only person who didn't leave a visible crack from their strength was Buggy. He's literally not strong enough to handle anybody of note in the New World. He only gets by pure dumb luck and the strength of his crew members, who are, a lot of them are very powerful pirates. Some come from level 6, some come from level 5. A lot of powerful pirates on his crew, but Buggy himself is not in the same ballpark in terms of strength. He simply isn't. If he trained, possibly, but he didn't. He rested on his laurels and was lazy the whole time. Literally half of his crew got fat, except for Alvida, because she literally can't, because her devil fruit keeps her slim. But yeah.
If he's gonna do it, then I want to be the king of the pirates! Power? Wealth? We'll have it all! let's go and take it! The greatest treasure the world has ever known!
And then it cuts to Crocodile, who just slaps away Buggy into the distance because it shows a little bit of blood on his claw, on his hook, on his hand, as Buggy gets sent flying away. Then Crocodile goes,
They say that titles can create a false sense of superiority. I've never seen anyone this full of himself.
Do you actually believe you can talk us into this?
No plan, no preparation. Pirating is a business.
Red hair, black beard, straw hat. You want us to fight all of them at once.
No! You just have to beat them to the punch! That's the only rule with treasure. Finders keepers!
Don't even start.
Remember the passion that these words inspire! All pirates went out to sea in search of this!
And unbeknownst to Buggy, Denden Mushi is activated directly next to him. So as his rant goes off, it permeates throughout all of the Cross Guild.
Isn't that right, folks?
And this catches the attention of his own crew members.
Stop it, Buggy.
Tell me, what was the dream that took you out to sea?
God, Chairman Buggy's kindling the light of our lost innocence!
Are your souls crying out for meaning? Begging for a purpose? When your lives could be cut short at any moment? Don't be cowards! Soft and satisfied with the status quo. Reach out for what you want most of all! Remember, I've got your backs! Let's go and take it! The One Piece is ours!
And as he says this, it rallies every single member of the Cross Guild, except for Mihawk and Crocodile. Because as that happens, every word of Buggy gets sent out there, and now they basically see Buggy as spurning on his entire crew and the entire Cross Guild to go after the One Piece. So despite Mihawk and Crocodile being opposed to that idea, Buggy just unintentionally caused his entire crew to get behind that idea. And Crocodile is so upset that he snaps his cigar in half with his mouth. And then Mihawk is just kind of getting annoyed sweats as he goes, "Is this a joke?" Then we cut to the Kamabaka Queendom in the Grand Line. And we get 4 unknown individuals who are talking on the coast. Well, what's that ship? An enemy? What? Who? And then we cut to a woman who's standing in front of this one cow creature, cow mink, supposedly. And she's moving her arm, but she's making cyborg noises with it as well. This is a person that would get along with Frankie and Usopp and Chopper just fine, because she's making mechanical robot noises as she's moving her cybernetic left hand, left arm, entire left arm. And then it cuts to another individual who looks like he's like Humpty Dumpty like. And then it cuts to another individual who's eating something, and he goes,
"Wanna make a bet? I'll wager it's an enemy ship. How much?"
Joran, I put $1 million on Sabo's return."
Huh?
And we get who these 4 individuals are. Revolutionary Army Vice Captain of the Western Forces, Ushiano Morley subordinate. Revolutionary Army Vice Captain of the Eastern Forces, Ahiru Bello Betty's subordinate. Revolutionary Army Vice Captain, Southern Forces, Gambo Lindbergh subordinate. Revolutionary Army Vice Captain of the Northern Forces, Jiren Karasu's subordinate. So, we've been introduced to the head captains of the 4 directional forces. Now we get their second in commands, the vice captains. Ushiano, who looks to be like some sort of cow mink or bull mink, Ahiru, Gambo, and Jiren. Interesting. Then we cut to someone going, "Dragon! Eva! Sabo's returned! Ya boy! Your boy Sabo! He's alive! He's alive! He's alive! Sabo's alive! Let's rejoice! I said he's alive! He's alive! He's alive! Sabo's alive! Let's rejoice! He's alive! He's alive, everybody! Woo! He's alive! Sabo is back. He survived the whole ordeal. He survived the whole ordeal with the Lelouch Kingdom. And now he's back. Dragon! Eva! Sabo's returned! Wonderful! So he's all right? And it cuts to Dragon, who isn't saying anything. Because remember, he said there was going to be some sort of reckoning because of actions taken during Marijois. But we don't know the full story.
You cheated. $1 million indeed. I'm not paying.
You know, that's going to be the voice I give Gumbo.
Well, mate, a bit. I'll wager it's an enemy ship.
How much?
Your Honor put $1 million on Sabo's return.
Huh? You cheated. $1 million indeed. I'm not paying.
Yes, you are.
Wait! Wait! You saw it through a looking glass.
I don't have one.
And then Jiren starts eating the telescope, like the periscope he's got.
Are you eating it?
And then people are going,
Welcome back, Sabo!
and Sabo's right there. And then we see Ahiru going,
I nearly shot you, Sabo.
glad you didn't. Were you worried for me, Ahiru?
Maybe.
And then we get Ushiano. Sabo, you're all right. Hooray! This ship is from Lelouch.
The kingdom
that just vanished? I'll explain later. For now, these people need rest. So here's my thing. Did Sabo get the people out of the Lelouch Kingdom before it got erased? What do you mean? The ship is from Lelouch. So how did if Sabo got the people out, or at least a good deal of people out from Lelouch before it disappeared, how did he do that with enough time? Or it could be, it makes you wonder. We see the entire kingdom of Lelouch get erased from the map, but we don't exactly see people being evacuated. We just see the moment of when the place gets obliterated, and we see the blinding light on Sabo's face way back in that chapter. But Sabo goes, I'll explain later. For now, these people need rest. And then someone screams, Sabo! And it's a koala as she tries to hit Sabo multiple times and kick him in the face. But, you know, he's fast, and observation hockey, it allows him to just avoid all the kicks as she goes, furious, going,
What's wrong with you, Sabo? We don't hear a word from you after your signal went dead?
Sorry, koala, I couldn't get a jamming transponder snail. They would have been able to intercept my call. Remember how I sent the indirect call signal? 3 noises? I wasn't actually in Lelouch.
But I was so worried.
I'm sorry, okay? And then it cuts to Morley, who goes, Sabo, why are all the bees like this? And then Morley starts using his powers, and it causes the entire ground to upheaval, and some people almost get swept up in it. You had me worried, sick! And then the whole area just fills up with, like, the ground being disheveled because of Morley's powers. And then it cuts to Bello Betty.
Glad you're here. I remember you, the sad sacks from Lelouch. A real shame what happened to your homeland. But I hear you want to enlist in our army.
Yes, ma'am!
Then first you need rest, so you can clear your heads.
Here's my thing. It just dawned on me that the Lelouch Kingdom is the Lelouch Kingdom the same place where Bello Betty and the other commanders first appeared, and they rallied those same citizens to go up against Peachbeard or Pinkbeard, whichever name he officially goes by. Is this the same kingdom? Is this the same kingdom? Is it the same kingdom that Bello Betty used her devil fruit power on to rally the citizens to beat back the pirates that were plaguing them? Is this the same kingdom? Or was it a different one? Someone will correct me if I'm wrong. But they apparently want to join the Revolutionary Army now. All the people who came with Sabo. Who knows how much it numbers in in the hundreds or thousands of people who want to join. Because the ship that Sabo came in on, it's a very big one. But moving from there, we go to a room where only Sabo, Dragon, and Ivankov are sitting in. I heard about what happened with Kuma.
I'm sorry. We wasted all of your hard work.
No, I know this is harder for you two.
Perhaps he was programmed with some directive to return to Marijwa at any moment.
Can't we tell the captains about all of this, Sabo? I'm afraid not. Listening in could put their lives in danger. What? This reverie was a truly wild affair. I'll tell you everything that actually happened in Sacred Marijwa. And to be continued. The chapter ends with to be continued. And we are not going on break. Yes, it's those people. Yes. I think the group with Sabo wanted to join the reverie and the others on the island got erased. But here's, oh boy. Wow. Yo, good to see you, Cides. Yes, it's the same kingdom, also the same place in Ace's cover story when he was chasing after Teach. Okay. Firstly, to everyone here, apologies for the little technical hiccup. It happens. But I'm glad I was able to get the rest of the story out to all of you. But when Sabo, okay, so it's the end of the chapter. When Sabo starts speaking, and he tells us what all is going down in Marijwa, I think that may be the most influential chapter that we get for One Piece. Simply because any secret knowledge that is held up in Marijwa, we don't know about. I feel like any information we get from Marijwa it's just like, we don't get told too much of what goes on in Marijwa. Like when the reverie first started, we had no idea what the lands were like there. We just knew that the 5 elders were there and the celestial dragons lived there. But when the reverie first started and the people started showing up, like the kingdoms and kings and queens and different people such as, King Neptune and Shirahoshi and the rest of the merfolk showed up, we learned just how things were run in Marijwa. And how slaves literally moved the entire roads underground under penalty of death or, constant whips so that people above ground don't even have to walk anywhere. Or they use slaves to just carry them around anywhere because the celestial dragons are just that lazy. But aside from that, finding out that the 5 elders answer to someone, the one true ruler of the world, who is Im-sama himself, and that there's apparently some sort of sacred treasure that's underground, deep underneath Marijwa, in the deepest vaults that they hold. There's not much else we know about the celestial dragons or the land of Marijwa other than that. But when Sabo starts speaking about Marijwa, it could be the biggest amount of information we have about that country as a whole. Because Sabo also knows that Im-sama sits at the top seat. Because his sentence got cut off before the Lelouja kingdom just disappeared off of the map. Before the world government had it destroyed. But Sabo knows about Im. That's the thing. He knows about Im. And who knows what else he knows, but he knows that there's so much more to what happened during the events before Sabo, tried to get Kuma out. So much stuff happened beforehand. So much stuff happened during the period of time when we weren't there. Because during the time, we was in Wano. We was in Wano and we just found out about the aftermath. And then we found out about other events through word of mouth from other individuals, but we never found out about the stuff that was happening from Sabo's perspective and everything that goes with it. What are the chances Oda cuts away to something else or back to Egghead next chapter? Very likely, because this is how Oda does things. I can't say that he's predictable, but when it comes to things that big information dumps, like I'm going to tell you everything that's going on, it's almost assuredly a way for Oda to cut from that conversation and go back to something else. Maybe he can tell us who killed Cobra. We know Lucci, Stussy, Kaku, and Gizmonda were at Marijwa during Reverie. They were, but we don't know who's the one who killed Cobra. So all in all, this was a good chapter. I want to say it's a good chapter simply because it showed us Sabo returning. And we had this whole big moment with Buggy screaming out like, "Let's take the One Piece now." but it's like, it sounds good to say out loud, and especially it sounds good to those who are, very weak-minded. All of Buggy's crew, save for his more prominent members, are probably more prone to Jedi mind tricks and can be easily fooled by stuff. All of his crew is all like thinking like, oh, Buggy wants to go after the One Piece. We can do it now. Much to the irritation of Crocodile and Mihawk, because they see things more practical. They see it more logical. You want us to take on both Red Hair, Blackbeard, and Luffy to become king of the pirates. And Crocodile is all like, do I really need to fight Straw Hat again? Now, mind you, he doesn't actually say those words, nor does those words actually pop up in a thought bubble, but it's like, Crocodile and Mihawk know better. They're smarter than Buggy. They're stronger than Buggy. But even they acknowledge, like, you want us to take on all three of these other Yonkos in order for you to become king of the pirates? It's like, think smart. Think smart. But because of Buggy's very big mouth, now his entire crew has been spurred on by these ideals. Buggy has a crew of small fries, but here's the thing. The gross strength, the whole total strength of Buggy's entire crew of small fries makes them a stronger pirate crew because they're all former inmates of Impel Down. They're all former inmates of Impel Down, and some of the members are very powerful members on his crew. There's a lot of members on his crew that are from the lower recesses of Impel Down. I personally think one of the 5 elders did it, killing Cobra, because didn't they want a private talk with him, or he wanted a private talk to them or something? Yes, Cobra wanted to speak with the 5 elders, but we never saw that conversation. So, it could be, we're not going on break, so it gives us a certain amount of time to think about who in fact killed Cobra. If it was the 5 elders and they pitted on Sabo, that would put an even bigger target on Sabo's back. But what that basically did was just turn Sabo into a rallying person, to some people even saying like he's rallying more people than even Dragon. Don't understand why Mihawk don't conquer his Haki them. He would have to have it for that to happen. He would have to have it for that to happen. And that's not been confirmed if he does. It sounds nice to say that sort of thing, but until Oda says otherwise, Mihawk ain't got it. And besides, Mihawk wouldn't even, or Crocodile if he's got Conqueror's Haki in the meanwhile. I mean, here's my take on Conqueror's Haki and characters having it. It sounds nice for a lot of characters, but not every character needs to have it. I said it before even Zoro have it. Zoro having it, now it kind of makes sense because he's like, second in command of a person who already has it, and they both want to become the biggest tier for something. But it's like, I'm not behind the mindset of giving, well, he must have it if he's 1v1ing with Shanks, or it's just that, not necessarily. Or he could just be a very skilled swordsman who doesn't have Conqueror's Haki. You're not required to have Conqueror's Haki in order to clash with an individual who has it. It's not a requirement. It really isn't a requirement when you think about it. It sounds nice to have, and it's a good thing to fall back on. Is all like, oh, he's strong because he's the most powerful swordsman, and he has Conqueror's Haki. That's it. Then you start to turn it into this person's powerful because he has Hashirama cells. We don't want Conqueror's Haki to turn. We don't want Conqueror's Haki to turn into this happened because they have a Conqueror's Haki. We don't want Conqueror's Haki to turn into this happened in Naruto because of Hashirama cells. If Crocodile had Conqueror's Haki, he would have shown it already. The same would be for Mihawk. I mean, we can't assume they have Conqueror's Haki just because we think they should have it. Us just simply thinking strong willpower will protect you against Conqueror's Haki. Yes, strong will protects you from Conqueror's Haki. So you don't need Conqueror's Haki to clash with Conquerors. You just need a strong will. That's the reason why all the Straw Hat crew are capable of fighting in proximity with Luffy, who is capable of using Conqueror's Haki in their proximity and not being affected by it. You just need a strong will to protect yourself against it. But you don't need Conqueror's Haki in order to go up against a Conqueror's Haki user. It's not required. But like I said, we don't need Conqueror's Haki to be just passed out to in and everybody we think should have it just because they're simply powerful, because then it becomes Hashirama cells. And that was a issue in Naruto when Hashirama cells came into play with how people who should be dead wound up being alive and stuff like that. We don't need it to become a crutch. Waiting to see if either Buggy or Usopp unlocks Conqueror's Haki. There we go. Here we go. All right, going back to the chapter. I enjoyed this chapter. Seeing Sabo alive was good, and knowing that he's fully alive. Buggy's crew is too far gone. Mihawk using Conquerors wouldn't affect them. Yes, when you're stupid, sometimes even the greatest powers can't affect you. And you fail to realize that Mihawk isn't trying to be Pirate King. He doesn't have that ambition. He just wants some solitude and a good sword battle. Exactly. Remember when Mihawk was talking to them earlier? He says, like, the title of Yonko doesn't interest me. He could go after it if he wanted to, but it's not on his cards. He is perfectly content chilling. Crocodile apparently wants to create a military nation that no one can that no one can oppose them. That's what he wants to do. I wouldn't be surprised if that's what he tried to turn Alabasta into beforehand, before Luffy came along and ruined it for him. But Crocodile, just like going back, he says, the utopia we seek to build is a military nation strong enough to resist any power, and for that we need overwhelming strength. So this is the second time we see someone aspiring to create be stupid but lucky. That is Buggy's entire MO. But going back to this, wow, I'm just now realizing that chat has not been up this entire time. I apologize that you guys weren't able to see yourselves off on the side. I got so caught up with everything else that I didn't do that. My apologies. I know technical issues abound today. All right, there we go. But going back to it, this is the second time we have an individual who says that they want to create a utopia of military might. First, we saw it with Blackbeard when he says like he wanted to use Kobe as a bargaining chip so that the world government could recognize them as a nation, but as a sovereign nation where only pirates rule. And now we have Crocodile saying like the utopia we seek to build is a military nation with enough power that no one can that we can resist basically everyone. Does Crocodile still want Pluton? I don't think he said it in the chapter, but I'm assuming he still wants it. That's Crocodile wants his own outer heaven. Yeah, he kind of does. That's exactly what it is. Crocodile wants to be the next big boss, but him and Mihawk are allowing Buggy to be the figurehead so that way they can run things in the background. Crocodile wants to create the next outer heaven, a nation without borders, essentially, so that they can run their entire. I can't wait for tomorrow's Volume 1. Look, Ravi, I can't wait to start reading One Piece from the very first chapter. This will be the first time I actually read One Piece from the very beginning, because I never read through it in the past. Not even on my off camera, I never read through it. So I can't wait to finally put those volumes to use. I got 2 whole shelves to go through worth of reading. 1 volume per day, excluding Sundays, so I'm looking forward to it. But the biggest thing to take away from this chapter is not only is Sablo alive, but he rescued a whole bunch of people from Lelouja who all want to join the Revolutionary Army. We got introduced to the vice captains of the Revolutionary Army's directional forces, the northern, south, southern, eastern, and western forces. We got introduced to the vice captains of them, and they're all very peculiar individuals. But overall, this chapter is setting up that, hey, we're about to get some serious exposition the next time we see Sabo. It's not guaranteed that it's gonna... Wow, I've been going on for an hour. I still need to do My Hero Academia. But it's not guaranteed that it's gonna happen in the next chapter next week. Because I feel like Oda's probably gonna cut back to either Egghead or someplace else. Either Egghead or Island Full of Lead to continue where Garp and Kuzan left off, or going back to Egghead to deal with all the things going on there. Thinking about buying those volumes so you can get your sister to read it. This took a long time for me to build. This whole collection of having it from 1 all the way through 102. And oh yeah, that's another thing. We lost a Vice Admiral from the Navy. The Navy is really thinking about trying to stamp out Cross Guild here now. That's the first thing. That's the first thing that's addressed in this chapter, is that the Navy is aware that the Cross Guild has not only rallied pirates to go out and hunt Navy officials, but also citizens. Because it was a citizen who killed Vice Admiral T-Bone. The fact that a regular citizen killed a vice admiral, and it was a dude who was down on his luck, his family was homeless and starving, and he wound up being able to pay for and take care of his family with that money. You'll believe T-Bone's dead when you see his funeral. I wonder, does T-Bone have a devil fruit power? I mean, the game pretty much said, not the game, but it says sometime around the Egghead arc, T-Bone was killed at Pepe Kingdom for the bounty he received from the Cross Guild. Now, if I go down here to his abilities and powers, I think he's just like a regular swordsman. I don't think he has any devil fruit powers because it's not listed here. And now the page doesn't even want to load up. Don't make me look bad in front of my friends. Yeah. Was well reputed within the Marines, which is why he was permanently stationed at their headquarters at Marineford and later New Marineford, where he reported directly to the higher brass. Extremely strong and resilient, his thin and apparently frail legs allowed him to run for a long time on the sea train rails during a storm. He was struck by a hit strong enough to destroy his own sword without receiving permanent damage. The force he applied in his sword strikes could cut through metal trains, large ships, and even giant sea kings in half. So, note all these physical abilities that T-Bone is capable of doing, and this one citizen killed him. Also, Zoro commented to himself twice that T-Bone was strong, and the fact that their fight lasted only moments does not mean he was inferior to Zoro at all. At that point, the fight could only be settled in mere moments as the Rocket Man was racing towards the rails T-Bone was standing on. And he was renowned for his swordsmanship, known because his nickname is Ship Cutter. For his prowess in swordsmanship, according to Zombai, T-Bone could easily slice large ships like cutting steaks. That's how powerful he was, and how strong he was. Capable of slicing ships in half, and he got done in. He was traveling on the sea train tracks. I feel like T-Bone would be the kind of guy to not fight back against civilians. I believe it. Probably he poisoned him. He was traveling. Maybe that man simply poisoned him, and now that guy is a pirate, and I don't think he was a devil fruit user. No, he wasn't. He was just like a regular citizen. Like Sudo and Sengoku said before, they were very surprised to hear that Garp went to Island Full of Lead. This Cross Guild has basically spurned not only pirates to go after Navy officials, but also civilians. Specifically, the type of civilians who are the most susceptible to falling prey to the Cross Guild's ambitions are the desperate, the downtrodden, the poor, the people who have no money, no food, nations who are not part of the world government or are struggling, or people who are struggling to give tribute so that they can remain part of the world government. These are the individuals who will benefit the most from hunting down the very people who are positioned to protect them. Ain't that wild? It's not just the pirates that the Navy has to worry about. They got to worry about civilians who could see a quick buck. If they can kill a person who's on a bounty, they could get rich. That's one way you can get rich. The Navy is there to protect and serve, even though the higher-ups have their own nefarious purposes for the Navy and whatnot. Most of them are just there to protect the civilians. Some of them are of the same mindset of Smoker and Fujitora, but the rest of them is like it's whatever. But at the same time, there's going to be some Navy officials who put their own well-being above, like taking out civilians, because a lot of the Navy is under the mindset of we need to protect civilians from pirates. Well, who's going to protect the Navy from the civilians? Who's going to protect them? You're protecting the Navy is protecting the civilians from pirates. Who's going to protect the Navy from the civilians and pirates? That's the thing. This Cross Guild has basically thrown the world's power out the window. I mean, it's already been thrown out the window ever since the Seven Warlords have been abolished. But now it's like you really can't, as a Navy official, you can no longer trust a civilian to be someone who looks up to you as a person to be protected by, as a person to protect them. Because at any given moment, if a bounty is out on your head, anyone can take it. That very same person that you meet on the streets and that you saved their life from, if they're down on their luck, your life could be forfeit because of the bounty that the Cross Guild put on you. It's gonna throw the whole world into chaos because the Navy is everywhere, but the Cross Guild bounties are everywhere as well. So there's no telling how many more casualties are going to pop up because of this Cross Guild Navy hunting bounty system that they have right now, that not only pirates, but regular civilians can take part in. That's the thing. He must have been worth a lot, since the captain is worth 100 million except Kobe, and he was a vice admiral. Let me see. Was it mentioned how much? Was it mentioned how much they got? It happened where over 1,000 people die of hunger every year. Poverty and money would change. Let's see. It doesn't necessarily say the bounty on him. No leads. All we know is that their family must be living a happy, comfortable life now. So it's got to be a ton of money for the people who were a part of this killing, or at least the family who were a part of this killing, who are associated with the person who was part of this killing. They're living better now. So much better. So that's the thing. Some random jabroni went all Punisher to hunt T-Bone. If only Luffy captured Aramaki and sold him to the Cross Guild, Nami would have been so happy. No, she wouldn't. She would have seen like, oh, that's a lot of money right now. Let's go get some more. It wasn't. It wasn't. But a vice admiral is a high rank, so it must be. So it's more than 100 million. I wonder. Do they have the bounties of people for the Cross Guild? Possibly. Let me look it up. We get 3 star. Okay, so the bounty system is based on number of stars given to the individuals, with each 1 star equaling to roughly 100 million and given out in chests. Under normal circumstances, a captain rank is worth only 1 star, but Kobe was given the exception of having 5 star due to his reputation as a hero. Now, a captain is given a 1 star. So either T-Bone got like maybe a 3 or 4 star ranking since... Oh, hold on. What? What is this? Hello, family. Hello. Thank you. You just... You... What? Wow. I didn't... You just surprising me with some food.
Love you.
I love you too. Thank you. This my mom, everybody.
Hello, YouTube space. Love you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. But man, okay, Vice Admiral is a rank just below Admiral to put it into perspective. So either T-Bone either got like a 3 or 4 star. So I feel like either he got like a 4 star or 3 star. Because Kobe got the exception of being a 5 star. So maybe he was a 4 star. So if he was a 4 star, that's 400 million berries that just went to that man's family. So that's interesting. I got food here. I'm gonna eat that, and then we'll react to My Hero Academia, and then I'll call it a session because I still got some stuff to do. What grub you got? They got me a nugget meal from Burger King. I haven't eaten from Burger King in a minute, but I like their nuggets. I wonder if they got me onion rings as well. They probably got me fries. Hold on. Let's inspect the booty. Yes, it is fries. All right. But they got me a nugget meal with some fries and sweet tea. But yeah, I'll tell her you guys said hi. But I know that Big News Morgans is greasing his hands, dying to print what's going on in the world. Shanks destroying the Kid Pirates, Teach defeating the Heart Pirates, Luffy at Egghead, etc., etc. There's so much going on right now. But I've gone on long enough because I'm gonna eat my food and then we'll react to My Hero. I've gone on long enough. I've dragged this out way more than I needed to, and I apologize for that. But there's so many things to think of. Burger King booty inspection. Let's go! Your heart fidelity, being a pirate is already made. Do what you want, cause a pirate is free. You are a pirate. We got us a bag that's filled up with all tasty foods. It's all filled up right here. And right here on my desk. We'll open the bag. The bag, we know it's filled with tasty booty. Then eat up the bag, and then we'll say hooray!
High fidelity.
I'm sorry, I'm getting distracted here. I'm sorry, I'm having so much fun. But this was a good chapter. Let me get back on topic here, because I really need to stay on topic, because I'm going to be reading through all of One Piece starting tomorrow. Also, going back to, I believe, Ravi, who said, like, how am I going to do it? How are we doing it? To go back to that, when I start reading One Piece, I will be doing it one volume per stream. There will be 82 streams. There's more than enough days for me to be able to get and read through 82 volumes of One Piece this year, because if I try to do it every week, there's not enough weeks in this year for me to go through 82 volumes. But there is more than 82 days for me to be able to do that. So even if I skip Sundays, I'm still going to be able to read through the entire, read all the way from volume 1 to volume 83, because I'll stop it at 827. 827, which is the last chapter of volume 82, before we get to volume 828, which is when I started doing reactions on this channel. Therefore, allowing me to have the entire series of One Piece on this channel. I got it as a separate playlist, so you guys will be able to enjoy and experience that volume 1 through 82. It's going to be a long process, but I'm looking forward to it. But this was a great chapter. I enjoyed it. I got to take a break real quick to eat my food, so that way we can come back and read through the newest chapter of My Hero Academia. Also, Jujutsu, like I said at the beginning, is still on break right now, so no chapter today, but there will be one popping up next week, which means we're going to be getting One Piece, My Hero, and Jujutsu next week. So I hope you guys are looking forward to basically that and anything else I'm doing on this channel. Thank you for your support. Whether you're just here, watching, liking, and subscribing, or if you're supporting this channel in other means, such as Super Chats, Super Thanks, and memberships, because this is my job, and that really does help this job stay sustainable so I can keep doing this. Any way you support this channel, I just want to say thank you overall. Hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then like, subscribe, share this stream with everyone you know, because the more the merrier. And maybe even consider becoming a member, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later peoples. I'm gonna eat my food, then My Hero Academia.